Hello, everybody. Welcome to September. Thank you so much for joining me. You are watching the September 2021 edition of the Quilted Joy Clubhouse, and I'm so glad that you're here. I know that you have a lot of choices about where you spend your time, and I just appreciate you spending a little time with me. We've got a lot of great things on board for you today, and I'm hopeful we can kind of take this year of the grid that we've been talking about each month in 2021 and kind of show you how to expand it into new areas. And I do have a question for you. Last time I asked you about whether or not you like to paper piece. And it seems like it's like a very strong, it's like a hard no or a hard yes kind of thing. So here's my next question. What about needle turn applique? How do you feel about needle turn applique? So down there in the comments, hard no, hard yes, I'm interested. Because as we start to think about, different patterns and different things that we want to share with you, it's always interesting to me to see what sort of things do you like and what don't you like. So needle turn applique, hard yes, hard no. Let me know in the comments. And do put down what city and state you're watching from as well, because it's always fun to see how far flung everyone is. We do this at 1 o'clock Eastern live in Kentucky, which is 10 a.m. Pacific. And so it's not super early over there, but I know we have folks from all over the globe who watch. And it's always, of course, you can rewatch any of our other Quilted Joy Clubhouse meetings. We have them all there on the Quilted Joy YouTube channel. And they go back 2 years now, so you can go back and binge watch. You'll get sick of me, but you can go back and binge watch all of our other Quilted Joy Clubhouse episodes, and we really hope to kind of bring you a little bit of quilting joy in your day and a little bit of knowledge that you can use on your next quilt for machine quilting. So do we have folks filing in? Are they telling us how they feel about needle turn applique? Anybody hard yes, hard no, or what city they're from?
Definitely some hard no's.
Some hard no's, okay. All right.
Kansas.
Yeah, Kansas.
A hard no from Cincinnati.
And a hard no from Cincy.
Let's see, we've got Callister, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Hi from Colorado.
Hi, Colorado. I'll be out there in Colorado in about 2.5 weeks. I just got back from Austin, Texas. I was teaching at the APQS Austin store, and we did a 2-day event there all about ruler work for both sit-down and stand-up machines, and had a ball and met a lot of great people. So it was fun. I'd never been to Austin before. It was hot. It was definitely hot. The margaritas helped a lot, but yeah, HOT hot. And we ate outside when we went to restaurants, so it was sticky and hot. But a beautiful city. I hope to go back on a different time where I can do a little bit of sightseeing and enjoy the town a little bit. With these monster houses too. Like we went by and there's these hills, and one of them was owned, it was a castle. It was a straight up castle. And it was owned by the dude who invented Dungeons and Dragons. And he lives in a straight up castle. It was like jaw dropping. It was very cool. There were lots of amazing houses up on the hills that were ginormous that you just wanted to go and be nosy in, because, I'll never be in a house that big. But yeah, it was a straight up castle. So any other hard yeses? Are there any hard yeses yet at all? Really, a hard yes?
Yeah, from Marcia from Kansas.
All right, Marcia.
And Barry in Ontario,
And
Canada.
Barry, awesome, awesome. Yeah, I've done a little bit of needle turn applique. It's definitely a slow down process, which sometimes that's exactly what my brain needs. Well, I want to encourage you to sign up for the Quilted Joy newsletter. A lot of what we talk about here in the clubhouse, we provide some supplemental information and worksheets and things, and that's all done through our newsletter. So be sure you're signed up, and we also, we include some fun links of interesting quilty things that I find online, as well as if we have any specials or things that you need to know about or events that are coming up. And we remind you to tune in to watch the Quilted Joy Clubhouse each month. So be sure to sign up for our newsletter. And I did want to tell you, each month we have a different Quilt Fairy thread pack that we have compiled, and it's good just for that month. So for the month of September, we are announcing this month we have the Primrose Pixie thread pack kit. And the Primrose Pixie has 3 different colors in it. It has pink lemonade, it has Arizona sky, and it has daisy. Do you have a picture of that, Kelsey, or should I hold it up? Okay, let me pull it up here, yeah. And so the Primrose Pixie, lover of summer, Miss Primrose is, and these are gorgeous colors that are perfect for those quilts in your life that need a little pop of color. Don't be scared of colors like this. I once did it's all pink, different Barbie pink, hot pink, all pinks, and like the perfect thread color for it was chartreuse, so lime green on it was perfect. So don't be afraid of bold colors. They're super fun to use on quilts with color. I would encourage you to break out if you're using a lot of whites and a lot of linen and a lot of cream. Oh my goodness, grab another color and see how it changes things, because it can really add a whole lot of life and pop to a quilt. And then I also wanted to tell you, so I don't know what's going on in your neck of the woods, but around here our positivity rate is going up, and so there's a lot of folks who aren't getting together that would normally get together. And so I'm kind of feeling that as well, and I would love to just sit and chat with you. You know, a lot of people have a lot of different questions about you know, quilting or the Fonsom Porter show or my triplets or the machine or, you know, tension, like anything. So we've got an Ask Me Anything session where we're just going to sit and chat. And I don't know what we're going to talk about. We could talk about our little ladybug friend that we've been talking about all month or all year. But whatever you want to chat about, we're going to chat about it. So I encourage you to join me. It'll be in the Quilted Joy Clubhouse. So it'll be in our Facebook group, the Quilted Joy Clubhouse. And that'll be September the 15th at 1 o'clock Eastern. 10 a.m. Pacific, and just make sure if you aren't in our Quilted Joy Clubhouse and you want to be a part of that, go ahead and ask to join. We just have some questions to screen out the sunglass salesmen who want in our group. So we ask you some questions to get in. If you don't answer those questions, we don't let you in. So we're trying to keep it to just quilters in that group, no sunglass salesmen. So I will see you on September the 15th. Is that a Wednesday, Kelsey? Yeah. Okay, good. All right, so it's a Wednesday, September 15th at 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Okay, so the year of the grid. So 2021, we have been talking clamshells. We've been talking the grids, and last month we talked clamshells. And we talked about how to make the clamshell and how to put it on a grid. So if you aren't used to that, I would encourage you to go back and watch last month's Quilted Joy Clubhouse meeting, because it'll help you understand what a clamshell is and how you put it on a grid. This month, I want to take it one step further, and we're going to have some stuffed clamshells. So we're going to fry them up and make them all tasty and put them on this quilt here. So we are going to talk about different ways. I do have a grid on the computer, and I just want to show you some things on the computer first. Now, I don't have a way to draw a half circle or an arc on the computer easily, except for freehand. So I'm going to do it with my mouse, which my mouse happens to be in the shape of a pencil. So I'm going to try to get there nice and even, but you're going to have to forgive me. I'm not a great artist. Pen to paper, I can quilt far better than I can draw. So we have just this straight up grid, and so for the clamshells, we're doing little bunny hops across that first row. And then I would see how you would want to use probably it depends on how small your grid is. If your grid is pretty small, you could do this freehand, but if it's anything bigger than a 1-inch grid, you're going to want to grab a ruler. So then I would sneak up the ditch to the next row, and the next row starts with a half of a clamshell, And when I reach the top of the head of the clamshell below it, that's my little magic portal. And we talk about magic portals all the time, where we have these little sneaky spots that we can drop in to places and drop out of places, and no one will be the wiser. So here we are at our little magic portal, and I'm going to pop in to the clamshell below it, and I'm just going to do a lollipop tree. So I'm going to go straight down, I'm going to put a little circle, come back up, straight down, a little circle, come back up, straight over, little circle, and come back up. Little lollipop tree. Now I'm ready to hop over. And now I've reached my magic portal for this one. And I always do the middle lollipop tree first to ensure that I have enough room, that I haven't put myself in a bind but I have enough room for my lollipop tree. And you could do anything in these spaces. All right, so now I'm headed to the next row. And let's deal with this little guy right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do a half of a lollipop tree. And now I'm going to hop over. And there I am. I can drop down and do a lollipop tree. So those half clams you will want to deal with as you come to them. All right, so those are lollipop trees. Let's finish this out, and then I want to show you another choice. Because lollipop trees are fun, but they aren't super formal. So there may be times where it doesn't make sense for a lollipop tree. So I'm going to come up the ditch, do a halfsy. All right, so let's talk about something else that we might drop into the head of this one. It could be a heart. Yeah, a little upside down heart. Could be a heart. It could be, what if we did a leaf? So I'm going to do a big mama leaf, and I'm going to put a little leaf inside of it. Let's do another one. A big leaf and a little leaf inside of it. And then I'm going to go up here, and let's do another round. All right, I'm just trying to think on the fly. What could I put in here? Let's put a curl. And then let's do a little lowercase e. Do you notice that's a cursive letter, lowercase e? It's upside down, but it's a cursive letter, lowercase e. And then I'm going to head right back along the way I traveled. Lowercase e and head right back along the way I traveled. Let's do another. A curl. Come back, lowercase e, head right back along the way I traveled, lowercase e, head right back along the way I traveled. And obviously you're going to want to stick with the same design. You're not going to want to mix it up the way I am here. I'm just trying to give you a number of different choices. I even thought about if it was a Christmas quilt, instead of a lollipop tree, what if we put a little snowflake? So I came down, there's one spike, there's two spikes, there's three, over and up. Over. I'm going to do that again. I'm headed here. So 1, 2, 3, cross, 1, 2, and up. And cross over. Wouldn't that be cute? 1, 2, 3. Ooh, hold on. My big old fingers got in the way of my mouse. So we're going to come down. While I'm doing this, Jesse and Olivia, have we gotten any other hard no's or hard yeses?
Nancy wanted to know if you saw any bats in Austin.
I did not. They have that bat cave. I don't know much about it. You know, a lot of times, Nancy, I get off the plane at a city that I'm teaching at or working at a show, and I hate to say it, but I'm not even sure where I am on the planet. Like, I just got on a plane and got popped out the other side. Generally, I know the state I'm in, but if you ask me on a map where the heck I was, I don't know that I could tell you. Especially Texas, my gosh, humongous state. Okay, so there's some ideas of some ways that you can, I really like the snowflakes. I'm totally digging the snowflakes. But those are some ideas of how you could dress up a clamshell from the top. So, so Kelsey, let's stitch some of those out. And since I'm digging the snowflake, let's do the snowflake. So what I've done is I've already done the first row of clammies. And I'm going to come back over and do my little half clam here. And I'm going to touch the head of the clammy I did below it. And now let's go ahead and do our little snowflake. Up. Across and out. Now I'm going to bring in my ruler and line it up and head over, and I'm going to come down. 1, 2, 3, cross. 1, 2, and up. And do another one up and over. So I'm doing a 2-inch grid here and a 4-inch circle ruler. Like I said, you could put this on a smaller grid and do a smaller clamshell. It's just, you gotta think about what size are you wanting to commit to. So let's do one more. I'm just gonna come up and over, and we'll do something else this time. Actually, I wanna do the same thing, so I wanna build at least one row of it so you can see it built. Now remember, what we talked about is that all of these grid designs, what's so cool about grid designs is you can certainly put them in a block, you could certainly put them into negative space, but you can also use them as a border design. And so if you had, what did we say, these were on a 2-inch grid. So if you had a 4-inch border, you could do 2 rows of these clammies, like on a Christmas quilt, and have your starflake clammies all together. I'm going to go ahead and break my thread, Kelsey, and move the camera so that they can see that a little bit better. All right, so there are my Arctic clamshells with their little snowflake stuffed middles. And depending on the batting I'm choosing, I may need something inside those clamshells because it just needs a little more stitching to hold that batting integrity together. Okay, so I'm going to go back to our grid here. And what I've done is I've already drawn those clamshells because I want to talk to you about another way that you can fill a clamshell. Now, again, I drew these without a ruler, just freehand, so my clamshells look like they're a little, withered on the vine, but just roll with it. It's just, freehand drawing versus stitching. All right, so we are going to, I'm going to draw on this one. Okay, so there's my drawing. And so before, what we did is when we touched the top of the clamshell's head, we filled something in the top of the clamshell's head. This time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come at it from the bottom up of my clamshells. And so there's different things that I can put in here. Let's just do a simple hook. So I'm going to do a hook. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to put a little hat on him. All right, I'm going to do it again. Think about a question mark. A hook is a question mark. You've been making question marks all your life, and then I'm going to come up. And I would keep on going as far as I could go up, and then I'm going to come back down by just putting the back part of my hook on as I come down the clamshell. And then I would travel in the ditch. And this one, he's kind of a half-Z, so I'm just going to put the top of the hook and come up and sneak through, hook, and put his little hat on him, hook, and put his little hat on him, and then come back down the back, down the back, down the back, and head over and do the same thing. Come up, hook. Sometimes you hear this shape, this question mark with a hat, question mark with a hat. You hear it called an arrowhead. All things that, and let's do this one because I forgot to do this one. I want you to just see it, what it looks like built out. And so you saw that by going all the way up to the top and then coming back down, I was ready to stitch in the ditch and continue on and fill my clamshell up. All right, let's do one more with these that I have over here, and then we'll play with it on the machine. So over these, I want something kind of flowy. So I'm going to do like these ferny viney thingies. And yeah, that's a technical word. And put a little loop and then head up. So a ferny viney thingy. And I would not mix these, right? I'm going to pick on my clamshells one design, and I'm going to stick with it. One design, and then I'm going to stick with it. And if you notice, those little ferny things are not matchers. Okay, and I'm going to come down through the spine because I'm going to create a spine on my way down. head over. So I don't have the same number of fern fronds on each side. I'm not worried about it. And they aren't matching side to side either. I'm not worried about it. This has a lot of forgiveness built into it because there's just so dang much going on that the eye is like, I can't even see the symmetry, so I'm going to forgive it all.
Looks like a peacock.
Peacock, yeah. All right, let's do one more. Stitch over. And Kelsey, we'll have this, have we put this 1-inch grid into our,
Yeah.
we have? Okay, perfect. So if you are subscribed to our newsletter, then you can print this grid out, this 1-inch grid out, and you can follow along and build this and doodle this while you're watching TV. And I tell you, if you put one of our grid designs that we've talked about on a quilt, please post a photo of it. I get such a kick out of seeing our designs in the wild. We just had the Kentucky State Fair here, and as I was walking through the fair, I found a quilt that had been entered that was one of my patterns, and I felt like I had won. Like I was like, holy cow, I just encountered my, my quilt in the wild. Nothing better. All right, so I'm gonna bring the machine over. I've already stitched these clamshells out, and let's just start here at the bottom, and we'll start with that arrowhead one so that you can see how it's stitched. So I'm going to do that question mark curl, tuck my tail way in, come back, and then put a hat on it. Question mark curl, tuck my tail way in, come back, and put a hat on it. Let's do one more. Question mark, come back, and put a hat on it. And now let's head back down to put the back side of our question mark curl on, and then we'll come up this way. Another curl, tuck that tail way in. That's really the secret, and then I'm going to head back down. If you don't tuck the tail in, it just looks a little bit flat. All right, let's do our peacock one. So we've got a fern, a fern, a fern, a fern, and then I'm going to put a little loop and a little loop inside, and then I'm going to sneak up the side. Fern. I think I've told you guys this before, but my husband recently moved his mother from Bowling Green, Loop, Kentucky, up to Louisville, Kentucky, and she needed a truck mainly for all of her ferns. She has so many ferns on her outside porch. It's quite pretty. But it looks almost like you're in a jungle or something. So I just noticed, I want to show you this. What happened? Oh, I know what happened. Oh, I wonder if I could show that, Kelsey. Can you hand me the, so you guys look, I want you to see. See how it busted there? Can you hand me the cone? I just want you guys to see. Oh, it's so far away. Okay, got it. So take a look. This is the thread we're running. We're running Glide Citron Yellow. And can you see this okay, Kelsey? So when it was sitting back there in the back, when it was loaded, it was not closed. See this flange part? This was open. And so as the thread exits, it gets caught on these little teeth here that are meant to hold it when you store it, because that snaps down and now you don't have thread running around your drawer being crazy. But if you leave it open while it's on your frame, as that thread exits, it can get caught there, which is exactly what happened, and it'll snap your top thread. So when you load this cone at the back of your machine, make sure you close that flange so that your thread won't get caught on it. All right, I'm going to hand you that back, Kelsey. I'm actually kind of glad that happened so I could show you that. A lot of people don't know that that little flange is there and that that is how you store your thread so that it won't get caught in your drawer. So anytime your top thread breaks, it's a good chance to like stop and see if you can figure out. A lot of times if you can stop right away and then take a look at where it broke, it'll tell you a lot. And of course my little fingers, there it goes. All right, so it broke right here. So in real life, I would knot and bury or take some tacking stitches, but we're just gonna keep on keeping on. We're gonna do one loop, and we're gonna do a second loop, and then we're gonna head on down, and I'm gonna cut those tails when I get away from them. And travel over. All right, let's do one more. Fern, fern. All right, and it broke again. I think it got caught on that, when we put it on, Kelsey, it got caught on that back guide, the shepherd's hook there. All right, so let's take a look. I'm just gonna cut this because I want you all to see it, and I don't want to take the time to get it off that shepherd's hook. I threw it at Kelsey and we got it caught. All right, so here is the clamshells with the arrowhead. Yeah. And then here's the clamshells with the peacock filler. And then those were the clamshells with our starflakes. Starflakes? Snowflakes. Our snowflakes. All right, so what did you think? Would you use the one with the curl? Would you use the one with the snowflakes? I just want you to see that you can access those clamshells from the top, the head of the clamshell, or up from the base of the clamshell. And if you have any questions about the clamshells that we're working on, put those over there in the chat, and we will certainly help you out with those questions. Did anybody have any questions, by the way?
No, Brenda had a great point that you could use the snowflakes as fireworks on
Oh yeah, Brenda, yeah. Yeah, so the snowflakes could be fireworks as well. And it, wouldn't it be pretty, Brenda, in a variegated thread? So you could do it like in an orange and red variegation. That would be absolutely gorgeous, especially on a darker colored fabric. Yeah, it would look like little fireworks. So, all right, well, I'm glad that you guys kind of explored clamshells with me, and I would love to see if you put clamshells on your quilt. Don't forget, you can use them in the border, but you can also use them in blocks as well, and in any kind of negative space. Just keep in mind the size of the grid that you put them on is going to dictate how dense they get. And at some point, if you put them on a super small grid, you're going to wonder why you chose that super small grid. So choose wisely, right? All right, I want to thank our sponsor, APQS. APQS machines are 100% handcrafted in Iowa, and they're loved the world over, and they come with a lifetime warranty. And I do want to tell you that today it was announced that we have Lucy's on sale. So if you are interested in a long arm machine, the Lucy is a 26-inch throat. It's a great value. And the special is that she comes with the upgraded table free. So she comes with the same table that our top of the line Millennium comes on. Normally that's a $2,000 upgrade. That's included in the sale. And then with that upgrade, you also get the auto fabric advance. So to roll the quilt forward automatically, it's just a touch of a button on the floor. Normally that is $1,350, and that's in the special included. And of course, Lucy has a stitch regulator. She's got handles on the front and handles on the back, laser light, canvas already attached to the leaders, and a lifetime warranty. If you're interested, give us a call here in the showroom. We're at 502-718-7148, or contact your local APQS dealer, your local APQS store, or visit apqs.com for more information. Oh, we've got some new arrivals here. We are becoming super huge Kimberbell fans. And should I put it here, Kelsey?
You might just hold it up.
Hold it up? Okay. So Kimberbell, I don't know if you guys have found Kimberbell, but it's a company that does some amazing embroidery projects. And they have all kinds of stuff to help you. So if you have an embroidery machine, check out Kimberbell, because they make some adorable quilts and quilting projects, embroidery projects. But they also have their own solid line, and the colors are just absolutely yummy. To me, they look like like sherbet that I would get at my ice cream store and enjoy them immensely. So this is a Kimberbell fat quarter stack, and it has all the wonderful Kimberbell colors in it that you could use for a number of projects as well. So that is a new arrival here at the shop. And then I would also ask, if you are enjoying the Quilt of Joy Clubhouse, really the best thing that you could do to help us and help us reach more people would be, one, to share it with someone that you know would be interested in the information, but two, if you review us on Google, it just helps the Google algorithm decide whether or not to serve us up to other people. And so that review, either on Google or Facebook, really helps the whatnots in the computer world decide that we're worth showing to others. So I appreciate it sincerely, and I read every one of them personally, so I appreciate the time you take to do that. Okay, so we are going to talk about how I would quilt a quilt if it were my quilt. And so what I do is I ask folks to send in a photograph each month. We do a call for entries, and then I select one of those photos. Now, I normally do that on the weekend. I just told you I got back from Austin, and so I simply did not have the time to put up a call for entries. So what I did is I selected an entry that was put in last month and that we're going to talk about this month. And so what happens is in the Quilt of Joy Clubhouse, you put a photo up of an unquilted quilt top. I bring the photo down into my computer and then draw on the computer to show you how I would quilt it if it were my quilt. All right, so here's the quilt that I chose. This is Denise's quilt, and I'm not sure what the name of it is, but it's super modern, super gorgeous. It just has kind of light dancing through it. And so I had a lot of thoughts about this because, of course, those triangles, two of them make a diamond. So I thought, well, I could do something and bring the diamonds out. But if you look carefully, sometimes they make a diamond, and then sometimes the color is so dramatically different that it really wouldn't translate as a diamond. And then if you look at it even more deeply, there are larger diamonds. So here, let's go. So here's the smaller diamond, right? And then let's go more deeply, and let's look at a larger diamond. So here is a larger diamond. So there are ways that we could break this quilt down, but because of the way the color flows through it, it wasn't quite working for me. And then don't forget, with these triangles, it also creates a hexagon. So there's a hexagon hiding in here as well. So it kind of, when you're presented with a quilt like this, you got to kind of decide what the structure is that you're going to highlight to bring it to life. So in this case, because the diamonds didn't always make a diamond and the hexagons didn't always make a hexagon because of the colors, I chose to do it as just the individual triangles. And so I'm going to zoom in here, and I'm going to start at the top, and I just want to show you how I started. So I'm going to start here at the top, and what I did is I did a little lowercase e, Denise, over to the tip of this triangle point, and then I slid down like a slip and slide to the base of the triangle. So when I talk about the triangle, I'm talking about that. Let me do it on here. Here's the base of the triangle that I'm talking about. All right, so on the base, when I get to the base, then I'm going to put another lowercase e, and then I'm going to slip and slide up. Lowercase e, slip and slide down. Lowercase e, slip and slide up. Lowercase e, slip and slide down. Do you notice we're on a grid? Do you notice we're on a triangle grid? And if you watch some of the other grid designs that we've done during the Quilt of Joy Clubhouse, that lowercase e is one that we did pretty recently ago. We did it on a square, and now I'm going to do it here on a triangle. So I want you to consider that all these grids we've been talking about, I'm going to move this over, all these grids we've been talking about, yeah, you can put them on a square, you can put them in a rectangle, you can put them in a triangle, a hexagon, there's all kinds of things. All right, I'm going to head back the other way. Here's my base. I'm going to slip and slide down, slip and slide up. Oh, actually, I should have done the E first. Hold on. E first, and then slip and slide down. E, slip and slide up. E, slip and slide down. E, slip and slide up. E, slip and slide down. I never actually had a slip and slide. Did you have a slip and slide, Kelsey?
Yes.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
So you were the head of the neighborhood. I was just the kid who would come over to your house then and get on your slip and slide.
We also put the kiddie pool at the bottom of the...
Oh, you had a pool at the bottom to splash in.
Yeah.
Perfect. Did you put, I know we used to put soap on it. Did you do that?
No.
You didn't?
No.
Oh man, that increases the sleepy slidiness of it. We would go get the dish soap from the sink and put the dish soap on it. I wonder if they still make those. All right, lowercase e, slip and slide down. E, slip and slide up. E, slip and slide down. E, slip and slide up. Yeah, and you had to take a running start too. Get up a lot of momentum. All right, and so then we're just going to keep on keeping on, but I hope you see the pattern. E, slip and slide. So I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to turn that layer off, and then I'm going to turn it on to show you, Denise, and I'm going to zoom in. So that pattern, and the reason I chose a pattern that repeats itself is so that it would add texture but not take away from everything you've got going on with the colors of the quilt as it moves through those triangles. So let me zoom out. And as far as type of the color of thread, this would be a great one for a variegated actually, or some kind of shiny blue. I would go like a medium blue would also be super pretty, or you could just throw all that out of the window and go back to lime green, because lime green would also work really well in here. And anytime you get a chance to work with lime green, you should take it, because it's fun. So yeah, so I would choose a shiny thread. You could do gray on there, but I think I would go bold. Denise, and of course you're doing it in rows, so you could even choose to do like a deeper red at the top and then go to a medium red in the upper middle and then change over to a very light blue and then finish it up with a darker blue at the bottom. And so change your thread out but keep the pattern there. I think it's beautiful. Denise, you do whatever you want in your quilt, all right? But when you finish it, I would absolutely love to see what choices you made and what you decided to put on your quilt. That's how I would quilt it if it were my quilt. All right, did we have any questions that came in while we were chatting? All right, well, let's look at, I wanted to show you, you know, the Quilted Joy Clubhouse is full of the nicest, kindest quilters around, and they post what they're working on. And so I just wanted to show you some of the things that were posted. And it looks like, hold on, Kelsey, I think, yeah, no, I got it. All right, I thought I'd opened up the wrong one. It said May on there. All right, so Deborah posted this one. This one has a lot of structure and a lot of straight lines. Cheryl, this is a block, Cheryl, that I have been fascinated with for a really long time. There's something about that block that really makes my brain kind of twist up, and I just love the way it folds in together. And so take a look. Cheryl did Ladybug Hops. There you can see it in the negative space, but then she also did some straight line quilting in that small inner border that really frames this out nicely. Good job, Cheryl. And Tammy, oh my goodness, Tammy. Blew me away. Isn't this gorgeous? This is one of those Judy Niemeyer quilts that is just absolutely extraordinary, and it's paper pieced. And so she's got a lot of different close-ups of what she did in the different spaces on here. So hop over to the Quilted Joy Clubhouse so you can see all the pictures she posted to show what she did. I just want to show how nicely she framed out that center star and then filled the negative space with some wishbone designs. Really great job, Tammy. And then Virginia posted, she did some great work here on a panel quilt, and she put some feather meanders and then went around and echoed her little kitty cats and her dog and the little teddy bear. You can see she just had some fun echoing around those blocks. Missy posted this one. She did a meander, an Oliver meander on it. Missy, I absolutely love the outer border. I don't know if you guys can see this well, but it's cows. Cows and pigs, just adorable, Missy. Good job, thank you for posting that. And Susan, we had been talking about paper piecing last month, so Susan posted her paper themed quilt. It reminds me, Susan, of that Harry Potter scene where they're all getting attacked by the mail, right? Was it by the mail? Yeah. So then Carol, she again took a panel. It's got little peacocks on it, and she brought that into this quilt in the vibrant purple, and I absolutely love, you used a backing fabric, Carol, that we have here too. It's got purples and blues, and it's got kind of a bullseye print to it. Matched to your front, perfectly. So good job, Carol. Thanks for posting that. And here's one from Tammy. Just absolutely glorious. It would have taken a while to do that, Tammy. And she's got lots of great close-ups again. She put a lot of feathers on this and really broke down each space and thought about each space of how to do custom quilting on there. And I have to brag about Anita. Anita was in that class in Austin that I was telling you about, and in the class in Austin we were talking about curved cross-hatching and different ways to do curved cross-hatching. And Anita played on her quilt once she got home and posted this, and I just loved it. Anita, thank you so much for showing off what you learned in class. I really appreciated it. And now I have to brag about Kim. Now Kim, she stopped by the shop yesterday, and I asked her why she wasn't wearing blue, because she won so many blue ribbons that if I were her, I would just wear blue for the next month. But she won Best Machine Quilting at the Kentucky State Fair, and she posted this photo of one of her quilts, and if you look, it's hard to see the blue ribbon because it matches so well, but there is definitely a blue ribbon hanging there. And Kim has a Lucy, I believe, an APQS Lucy, and take a look at all of the curved cross hatching, and she just, fabulous job, Kim. So if you have a quilt that you are working on that you have finished, I would love to see it. So hop over to the Quilted Joy Clubhouse and post it, and tell us, why you chose what you chose, and it will allow us to all kind of learn from you and applaud and cheer you on, and join the conversation. Okay, so next month on Wednesday, October the 6th at 1 o'clock Eastern, we are going to talk about ghost grids. Woo! So it's October, right? So we're going to talk about ghost grids for the month of October for Halloween. So Wednesday, October 6th at 1 o'clock Eastern. You can also join us on social. We are on Facebook. You can join us on our Facebook page, as well as on the Quilted Joy Clubhouse group. And then hop over to Instagram. I post a lot of things on Instagram that don't necessarily make it over to Facebook, more like day in the life kind of things. And then of course we do have our YouTube channel where we have lots of tutorials and great stuff for you. So before we end, were there any other questions that we needed to kind of field? All right, thanks you guys, and I will see you Wednesday, October 6th at 1 o'clock Eastern. See ya.